For years, Kim Woo-bin and Shin Min have stood as one of South Korea's most admired celebrity couples. Their love story has been praised for its quiet strength, mutual respect, and resilience through life's most difficult moments. Fans around the world watched their relationship evolve not through loud headlines or constant media exposure, but through subtle gestures, rare confirmations, and an unmistakable sense of devotion that seemed to transcend the entertainment industry's usual noise. So when wedding buzz began swirling around the couple, it felt like a long-awaited fairy tale moment. Social media erupted with congratulations. Fan communities celebrated, as if the joy belonged to everyone. The idea that Kim Woo-bin and Shin Min had reached yet another beautiful milestone together felt comforting, hopeful, and deeply earned. But then, just weeks later, everything shifted. A new announcement, unexpected in timing and tone, suddenly became the center of intense discussion. Fans who were still basking in the glow of wedding rumors found themselves confused, emotional, and asking one pressing question: what is really going on? This is the story behind the announcement that left fans reeling, the context surrounding it, and why Kim Woo-bin and Shin Min-ah's words, however carefully chosen, sparked such a powerful reaction. A love story built on quiet strength. To understand why this announcement hits so hard, it's important to understand what Kim Woo-bin and Shin Min-ah represent to the public. Their relationship has never been flashy. From the very beginning, they chose privacy over publicity. When they confirmed they were dating, it wasn't accompanied by dramatic photo shoots or public displays. Instead, it came through brief agency statements and understated acknowledgments. What followed was years of consistent support, especially during Kim Woo-bin's health struggles. When he stepped away from the spotlight to focus on recovery, Shin Min-ah remained by his side, largely out of public view. Fans noticed the absence of scandals, the lack of rumors, and the way both actors continued to speak with respect and warmth about one another when asked. In an industry where relationships often burn brightly and fade quickly, Kim Woo-bin and Shin Min-ah became symbols of something rare: stability. That's why wedding speculation felt less like gossip and more like a collective celebration. The wedding buzz that sparked global joy. When reports and whispers of a possible wedding began circulating, they spread quickly. Photos interpreted as honeymoon-like trips, subtle changes in schedules, and carefully worded interviews all fueled speculation. Fans didn't demand confirmation, they simply hoped. Online forums filled with congratulatory messages. Comment sections overflowed with well wishes, heart emojis, and emotional reflections from fans who had followed the couple for years. For many, the idea of their marriage felt like a victory for quiet love and patience. Even without official confirmation, the mood was overwhelmingly positive, which is precisely why the subsequent announcement felt so jarring. The announcement no one expected. Just weeks after wedding rumors reached their peak, an official statement, calm, controlled, and carefully phrased, was released. On the surface, it didn't seem explosive. There were no dramatic revelations, no overtly negative words. And yet, fans immediately sensed something was off. The timing alone raised eyebrows. Why speak now, when public sentiment was at its warmest? Why address the situation at all, when silence could have allowed the joy to continue? As the statement circulated, fans began dissecting every line. Some noticed what was said. Others focused on what wasn't. And slowly, the narrative shifted from celebration to concern. Why fans are reeling? The reaction wasn't rooted in anger or betrayal. It was confusion, layered with emotional investment. For years, fans had projected hope onto Kim Woo-bin and Shin Min-ah, not in a toxic or demanding way, but in a deeply human one. Their relationship symbolized endurance, healing, and growth. So when the announcement appeared to temper expectations, it felt like a sudden emotional break. Social media reactions varied wildly. Some fans urged calm, reminding others that celebrities owe no one details about their private lives. Others expressed disappointment not because of unmet expectations, but because of the emotional whiplash. Many simply asked for clarity. The phrase shocking announcement began trending not because of what was explicitly said, but because of the emotional contrast it created. Reading between the lines. In the absence of concrete details, interpretation took over. Fans analyzed tone. Was it too formal? Too distant, too final? Some pointed out that the language emphasized professionalism over personal emotion. Others noted that it redirected focus toward work, schedules, and upcoming projects, subtly steering the conversation away from personal milestones. This shift triggered speculation. Was the announcement meant to cool down rumors? Was it addressing misinformation? Or was it signaling that fans had jumped ahead of reality? None of these questions have official answers, but the intensity of the reaction shows just how deeply people care. The pressure of public expectations. One overlooked aspect of this situation is the immense pressure that comes with being a beloved celebrity couple. Kim Woo-bin and Shin Min are not just actors, they are public symbols. Their relationship carries emotional weight far beyond their personal lives. Every appearance, every statement, every silence becomes meaningful. Wedding rumors amplify that pressure exponentially. An announcement, in this context, isn't just communication, it's damage control, expectation management, and boundary setting all at once. And that's where the emotional disconnect may lie. What fans experienced as a sudden shock may have been, from the couple's perspective, a necessary step to reclaim privacy. A history of careful communication. Looking back, this isn't the first time Kim Woo-bin and Shin Min have chosen restraint over indulgence. They have consistently avoided sensationalism. Even during moments when public sympathy was at its highest, they remained measured. This pattern suggests that the recent announcement wasn't impulsive, it was deliberate. Which raises another important question. Could the shock be less about bad news and more about unmet assumptions? Fans versus reality. In the age of social media, narratives often form faster than facts. A single photo can spark 1,000 theories. A quiet couple becomes a canvas onto which fans project dreams, timelines, and expectations. When reality doesn't align perfectly with those projections, disappointment is almost inevitable. But disappointment doesn't mean deception. It simply means the line between public perception and private reality became visible again. What this announcement does and does not mean. It's crucial to emphasize what has not been confirmed. There has been no announcement of separation, no confirmation of conflict, no denial of commitment. Yet the emotional reaction suggests that fans felt something was taken away, not something tangible, but something symbolic. The idea of a perfectly timed fairy tale moment was disrupted, and that disruption felt shocking. The role of media amplification. Media headlines played a significant role in escalating the situation. Phrases like shocking, bombshell, and unexpected fueled anxiety and curiosity. As articles multiplied, so did interpretations. Each outlet added its own spin, often amplifying ambiguity rather than resolving it. In this environment, even neutral statements can feel dramatic. Kim Woo-bin and Shin Min as individuals. Amid all the speculation, it's easy to forget that both Kim Woo-bin and Shin Min are individuals with careers, responsibilities, and personal boundaries. They have spent decades building their reputations. They understand public scrutiny better than most. Their decision to address or not address certain topics is likely guided by long-term considerations, not momentary trends. The announcement, then, may not be shocking because of its content, but because it reminds fans of an uncomfortable truth. Access is limited. Why fans still support them? Despite the emotional turbulence, one thing remains clear: support for Kim Woo-bin and Shin Min is unwavering. Many fans quickly pivoted from speculation to solidarity. Messages emphasizing respect, patience, and understanding flooded social platforms. Others reminded the community that love doesn't need public validation to be real. In many ways, the reaction evolved from shock to reflection. A moment of recalibration. Perhaps this moment isn't an ending, but a recalibration. A pause that allows expectations to settle. A reminder that timelines are personal. a signal that not every milestone needs to be shared. For fans who have followed Kim Woo-bin and Shin Min-ah through years of quiet devotion, this may simply be another chapter one that emphasizes maturity over spectacle. What comes next? As of now, there are more questions than answers. Will there be further clarification? Will the couple remain silent? Will fans eventually look back on this moment differently? Only time will tell. But if history is any guide, Kim Woo-bin and Shin Min-ah will continue doing what they've always done, moving forward thoughtfully, privately, and on their own terms. Why this moment matters. The reason this announcement resonated so deeply isn't because of scandal or drama. It's because it disrupted a collective emotional narrative. Fans weren't reacting to bad news, they were reacting to uncertainty. And uncertainty, when attached to people we admire, can feel shocking. In the end, Kim Woo-bin and Shin Min-ah's story remains one of strength, resilience, and mutual respect. This moment doesn't erase that. If anything, it reinforces the reality that true partnerships don't exist for public consumption. They exist for the people living them. And sometimes, the most shocking announcement is simply a reminder of that truth.